Hi, this is Heidi Dupree of HeidiDupree.com, Energy Healing Solutions for highly sensitive and highly creative women. And I'd like to talk to you today about how to create a ceremony while I'm sharing with you my process of doing ceremony today. Now, I just lost the feed, so I'm starting over again. I hope this works. Today I'm doing a ceremony because it is the beginning of my second Saturn return. It takes almost 30 years for Saturn to orbit the Sun. So you only experience a Saturn return 2, maybe 3 times in your lifetime if you live long enough. So it's a really big deal. Your first Saturn return occurs around the age of 29 to 30 when Saturn returns to the position it was in at the time of your birth for the first time. Your first Saturn return is when you complete the process of becoming an adult and officially cross the threshold into adulthood. The second time Saturn returns to the position it was in at the time of your birth happens around age 58 to 59, and that is called your second Saturn return. At that time, you complete the process of becoming a wise woman or a wise man. And that process begins for me today. It completes almost exactly 9 months from now, which happens to be the same amount of time that it takes to gestate a baby. So I'm entering this gestation period of becoming a wise woman, and I'm so excited to share the beginning of that process with you today. You can do your own ceremony for all sorts of occasions. You can do one for any new moon, when you plant your seeds of intentions and new wishes, or any full moon, when you celebrate the fruition of your intentions, any solstice, your birthday, an eclipse, or any milestone you reach, anytime you want to celebrate, integrate, or mark some turning point in your life, or the ending of something in your life. It's a sacred and ancient practice. So this is my altar that you see in the camera. Before I started my ceremony, I took some time to ground myself with Mother Earth by putting my bare feet on the ground. I meditated on what I was ready to let go of, what no longer serves me as I step across this threshold, the stuff I don't want to take with me on my journey forward. I wrote them on strips of paper, and I'm going to be burning them later. So I've got them in this bowl right now. I also wrote in my journal my intentions for this 9-month second Saturn return process. And I pulled a single card from one of my divination decks. Right here. This is the goddess Era Cura, which is about blossoming. And the card says, "You are just getting started, so have patience with yourself and the process and do not give up." What a wonderful message as I begin this 9-month process. It's good to involve all your senses and all the elements in your ceremony. Smell, sight, hearing, touch, taste, fire, water, earth, and air. So let's take a look at some of the things I've chosen to include in my ceremony today. And these are just examples. The sky is the limit to what you use in your own ceremony. So there's a candle there in the fire. That's the obvious fire element. And I'm going to burn some sage. The smoke from burning sage clears negative energy. It's been proven to improve air quality by killing up to 94% of bacteria in the air. It also releases negative ions into the air, which helps us feel lighter and clearer. Well, it's hard to get going there. Well, that's okay. So I would use my crow smudge stick to disperse this smoke around my body. These were crow feathers that I found in the woods. I'm also going to be using some essential oils. You can use oils any way you like, but I like to put a drop on my wrists. So there's that tactile experience and also the smell. And I've got shells on my altar from visits to the ocean. These bring the element of water. And I've got other sacred objects on my altar. This black jaguar is carved from onyx, which comes from the earth. She's one of my power animals and reminds me to be centered in my power. If you want to know who your power animals are, you can ask to be shown in your dreams. And I have this polished fossil, which connects me to the ancient wisdom of the earth. For the sense of taste, I've peeled an orange, which I'm planning on eating after my ceremony to help ground me in my body. It also comes from the earth, and it's full of water. For the sense of hearing, you can play music, you can play drums, you can use tuning forks, which I have right here. The tuning forks help balance the energy in your body. You can sing, you can dance. Creativity is also a wonderful part of ceremony. You can make a collage, you can do some painting, write a poem. I have a poem I'll be sharing with you in a moment. My favorite art medium is working with textiles. I plan on collecting fabrics that represent this journey as I go through it, and I want to make a quilted jacket when I complete my Saturn return in 9 months. So I've got some of the fabrics on my altar right here. They have all the colors of the energy centers or chakras. I also have a Shiva lingam. It's a hand-polished stone with a high quartz content that comes from a sacred river in India. So it represents the elements of earth and water. Years ago, I wrote a poem about this stone as part of a ceremony I did to integrate a painful process that I was going through at that time. And I'll read it to you now as part of this ceremony. The heavy sobs that rack my body labor for the child of stone, the child within me made of bitter gall and hardened resentments of the past. I give birth to her now, my own little child of pain, my stone child, my beautiful stone child. The labor past, I hold her up, my child of stone, formed within me, layer upon layer, hardened layer. Her surface, smooth as silk, ground against my inner roughness, the pressure of fear grinding against the fire of purpose, the inner alchemy that produced my stone child, my beautiful stone child. And now I lay her upon the softness of the earth, putting to bed the whispers of old losses and pain. Weary from the labor, I gather myself up and leave behind my stone child, my beautiful stone child. So I revisit that poem now because it's all about integrating everything from the last 30 years as I step forward into the next 30 years. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope that this inspires you to create your own ceremony and just have fun with it. If you'd like to learn more about ceremony, you can visit my website, HeidiDupree.com, click on blog, and then click on ceremony in the right side bar of the blog. And that will bring up a couple of articles about ceremony. So I wish you a blessed day. Thank you so much for listening and watching.